Random. That was random.
Here we go with another episode of the Random. How you doing today, Stone?
I'm doing all right.
Man, it's getting nice warm out there, isn't it?
Thank God.
It's getting toasty out there.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yep.
Got that rain all dried up. I'm going to speak on something that I had in the gas station. I had to put this guy in check. Is this white 60 to 7-year-old dude, right? And then right by the gas station, there's a landscaping company, and this is not, stereotyping or anything, but a couple guys who spoke Spanish, right, come in there, and this guy goes, "When you're in my country, you speak, English and something along the lines." I was like, "Seriously, guy?" I was like, "Seriously?" I was like, "Leave them be. That's what they speak. That's what they know." He's like, "What does it has to do with you?"
He said when you're in my country?
Yeah. He said, "When in my country, you speak English," or something like that. Like, he said my country,
so
for
yeah,
sure.
he owns the country?
I guess so.
Okay.
But by looking at the dude, you wouldn't think he would, but...
I didn't know. I mean, I thought, isn't Biden technically the owner of the country? No?
I know. I think it's people who are bigger than Biden.
I mean, he's the most powerful man in the world, right?
Nah.
No? Who would be?
Other corporations like Blackstone, big corporations that are worth trillions of dollars.
Okay, I mean, he has his hands on the nukes. So.
Man, you gonna tell me Biden has control of the country?
I mean, when you got your hands on the nukes, I think you have the most power in the world.
But does he have the hands on the nukes?
He's the president.
I don't know. I think the other people do.
No, I don't know about that.
Yeah. Anyways, the guy, I had to put him in check. I was like, dude, just leave them be. Like, that's what they speak. Leave them be. Like, they ain't doing nobody wrong. Like, leave them be. Like, why you gotta even start saying that? So, when people, like, backtrack and they think about what they said and they, their D shrivels up like a turtle's neck retracting, he, like, all of a sudden goes, like, after he thought about it, he's like, I've been working 10-hour shifts 6 days a week or some shit. I was like, whatever, man. I was like, still, it's just uncalled for. You just don't have to speak on it. Like, and that's just things, like, for everybody. Before you start flapping, think about what you're saying. Like, what happens if you were in their country and you're speaking English and they said that to you?
See, now, first you gotta understand, not everybody, certain people don't like other people for certain reasons.
Okay.
Whether it be the color of their skin or whatever. And you can ask them, what was the question you just asked me? Imagine if you were in their country.
Yeah, it was.
You know what that person would say to you? I would never be in their country.
Yeah, but just what if?
I would never be in their country.
But you got to think hypothetically.
But you got to think how these people think. They're not gonna give you that. Like.
But then I could retract and say, hey, it don't matter what color the skin is. We're all made out of the same thing.
Some people don't like other people because of their skin color.
But that's why it's set standard. You got to think the other way. That's what we're never gonna get out of this rut.
No, you're never going to change that. It's never going to happen.
Changing.
I know you want to. I know you have this dream of changing the world like that. I'm skeptical.
I do.
I'm skeptical.
Dude, it will happen. It will happen. Hey, manifest. And it will happen.
Okay.
Dude, just like how this podcast came about.
I got you.
Just one day, boom, thought about it. And then all of a sudden, I meet Stan Gorgeous. Stan Gorgeous comes pick me up.
Why are you calling that?
Because he good looking dude, like whatever, man. Like I calls him like I see them. Like he's good looking dude. He got his stuff together, got some nice sense and everything. Smell good, look good. All right.
Okay.
Let's leave it be,
You sure you don't have something to get off your chest?
Dude, you're gonna probably say something too. You're gonna probably say something after this.
I mean, the last episode.
Yeah, I know about the last episode, the Thai boy thing. Yeah, oh boy. Woo-wee.
I'm still laughing at that.
That is funny stuff. But no,
God.
You're gonna say that again once I tell you about this.
Oh Jesus.
So. Everybody, I don't know how to explain this, but like you said, with the whole people thinking, you got to open your mind, like Kano or Quanu. You ever seen Total Recall? Open your mind.
Yeah.
Not his memory, Please take my hand. Now open your mind to me, please. Open your mind. Open your mind. Open your mind. Open your mind.
Yeah.
Oh, that mutant, that open.
Yeah.
Gotta open your mind on this. So ever since I was a young kid, I didn't know what I was seeing till I got older to realize what it was. I would always see these shadow people, like shadows moving, like people moving, and I didn't know what it was. I wasn't scared of them. I didn't know. I didn't know how to like perceive it because I wasn't taught it, right? So when you're born, you're taught like, oh, this is red, this is blue, this is green, blah blah blah. This is this number, that number, whatever, you know. So I didn't know what I was seeing, but I knew I was seeing
Ghosts?
yes.
All the time?
It wasn't like Sixth Sense where I see like dead people type stuff. It's not all the time, you know. It's only in certain areas. People don't understand though. This earth has been here, what, 4 billion years? We don't know what has happened on this soil before, way back when. We have no clue. And usually, like, there's a traumatic event or something that they're stuck here, or we don't know, you know, because we don't even know about all the different dimensions that there may be. Because that's what the string theory is. I mean,
So you have like a literal sixth sense.
I'm going to get to that. So this is crazy talk right
You still
here.
see shadows?
I do, yeah. I just saw one a couple months ago. Yeah, for real. Like, they're quick. And you see them in the peripheral. And, like, this is what happened. So before I go into the story what happened with CBV, and this is paperwork. We got receipts for it. But before I go into that, I went to go to, like a palm reader thing in Kentucky.
I don't think I could ever do that.
Yeah,
I thought about I passed a lot of them, and I see them, I'm like, I don't think I could do that.
So there was this one lady named Patricia. She's gone now, past, but my family went to go and see her, and she would get these visions from angels, and I guess my family went there, and her whole house was filled with angels. I mean, just like tchotchkes, tchotchke's little thing, everywhere of angels, and this lady was hitting stuff spot on. But this lady, who I didn't see, but so down in Pikeville, Kentucky, which, shout out to Pikeville, Kentucky, like Paul Ray, Bertha Ray, Ricky and Irene, they're really good people, baby. I got to shout out to them because I got to say, there's some good people down south that Southern hospitality, Oh, you went down there one time.
I did.
Hey, served you up with a good piece, right? Served you up with a good piece, my man.
You don't even remember I went there.
Huh?
You don't even remember I went there.
I just said you did.
I know.
I
You almost
remember.
forgot for a second, though.
What?
You almost forgot for a second.
I just had to go on the Rolodex, man.
I've been to Kentucky.
I don't got a computer chip. I got a Rolodex, so it takes a while to roll through that paper,
I've been to Kentucky.
Yeah, Kentucky.
Man, I mean, it was like a whole different world down there,
Isn't it?
A whole different world.
It is, and it's pretty sad. Like, it's pretty sad because the literacy rate is terrible.
I didn't know people were living like that.
They live like that.
I did not know people were living like that.
Man, but because they all went to, like, they subjected. I feel so like, so this is what it is in Kentucky down there in Pikeville. It's like the lower part of Appalachian Mountains, and that the whole life was based on coal mining, like, for real. Like, I mean, that's what generational jobs were. They just went to the coal mine. Well, with the whole, like, Obama switching with the coal and everything, which I just don't understand. If we're not going to use it, we have one of the highest BTU burning coals in the world. Like, in that area. Like, in BTU is like the burn rate, the high burn rate. It burns at a higher temperature, right? But some of the best coal in the world, right? If not the best. So when all that hit, blah, blah, blah. So when they had this fair, it's called Hillbilly Days, to be honest with you. And tell you what, have some stories about Hillbilly Days and getting that white lightning that shine. You know, oh my goodness. You talk about be careful because it'll creep up on you real quick. I'll have stories for that later. But so they had this Hillbilly Days where, you know, there's a festival. And, you know, these kids don't get out, you know, or experience any kind of amusement parks, have you, right? Especially, as you said, it's a very, like, poverty sort of rickened state, area, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty, like, you know?
It's wild.
It's wild. It definitely puts things in perspective. Like, culturally lag, too. I remember the big hit is when Applebee's got built.
Man.
I tell you, it was like the next and up and coming, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I tell you what, they were like, oh my God, hey, did you hear, Betsy Lou? They got a new Applebee's by the shopping center. I mean, them riblets, I'll tell you what, they take you back. Well, anyway, sorry about that. I didn't mean to get off kilt. But, so they had this psychic reader, right? And this the psychic palm reader.
Psychic reader, okay.
You know, it's
Okay.
you know,
Yeah.
psychic. I don't know what she.
You asked her about the shadow people?
No, this is the messed up part. No, listen, this is crazy. No, listen. So she started talking to me, predicting my daughter. I'm gonna have a kid in the winter. Had one on January 13th. On Friday the 13th, mind you. We'll get into that story because that's a real trip too. But she, remember, like, I thought she messed up. She's like, oh, you're going to have major surgery on your left knee. And I was like, okay, like, maybe she got it switched.
She told you all this?
She told me all this. I swear. Why would I lie?
I'm not saying you're lying.
No, she told me all this. And I was like, maybe she was mistaken because I had the right knee surgeries, right? With all like, but I had that left one, that big one on 2020.
Okay.
The bone graft, which we'll get into that later date too. But that was a doozy. That really pushed me to the limits. But then, this is the crazy part. I'm about to leave, and she stops me and she goes, Michael, this is where it happens. I didn't say a word. She goes, Michael. She goes, do you see things? I'm like, what in the world? Like, I was like, a little hesitant to say, you know, something like along those lines. Yes, I do. I didn't want, you know.
I mean, like, what do you mean?
Well, that's why I then said, I was like, but I knew what she meant without even saying it.
Yeah, you can't.
I knew what she meant.
That easy, though.
I knew what she meant because I knew what she meant. You know what I mean? Like, when you get on that frequency or that vibration, you just know without knowing. It's like telekinesis, you know? And then I was like, what do you mean by that? She's like, do you see, like, shadow people? Do you see ghosts? And I was like, I looked at her, my eyes just like, was like, yeah, I do. You know what she told me? She's like, if you went to one of them ghost hunting videos or, you know, ghost hunting things that you see on TV, she's like, you would make a really good living. And I was like, really? I was like, why? She's like, they want to reach out to you. I was like, what in the world? Now, this explains everything, what I've been seeing all my life.
Okay.
Like, I mean, I am not making this up. You can ask.
I'm not saying
you can ask baby mama. She was just like, dude, what in the world did this lady just say? Like, and I was like, I told you. Like, everybody was doubting me, like, thinking I was some nut job, thinking of all the party favors I used to do, like, oh, you're just seeing shit. Now, it's for real. So let's go off to CBV. CBV is what you call a hypersensitive person. Hypersensitive person is, I don't know if I'm one, maybe, I don't know. But they're entities like to...
I've heard of it.
Yeah, so the entities are more susceptible to reaching out to them, right? Mm-hmm. So CBV, this is in Boston again. In Boston, I mean, a lot of history on that soil. Like I said, we don't know what happened on this soil from 1,000 years to 10,000 years to 100,000 years, right? So with that being said, he had other encounters before in his life, you know, when he used to live out in Cali. Now he's back out in Cali. And then I was like, I lived on the third floor, and so the house behind us where my window was parallel to, that house was vacant. Like, it was being remodeled yet. It was just vacant, right? But I had my blinds down, and I'm about to go to bed, and I kid you not, all of a sudden, the perimeter of the room, I see this. This was I see some white ones too, but this is probably the one where I saw, like, what is it, Sixth Sense type shit, like for real. And I see this white thing, like this. It looked like a glare almost, but it was just going. I'm like, there's no way. I'm at the highest peak of this hill, right? And there's nobody on the third floor or on the other house that could be like with the light or anything. And there's no way a car doors. I had the blinds down.
How big was it?
What the
white thing?
It's about a size of like your torso, your torso.
Okay.
Like I only saw the torso of them.
Okay.
And finally, I look and I'm up. I'm trying to figure out what this thing is. Then all of a sudden I saw him. It was like a 10 or 12-year-old boy with a bowl haircut, wearing like the white aprons, not white, but the white pajamas they used to wear that look like a dress. Like it was old times, you know what I mean? Okay. Like in the 19th or 18th century, type shit.
It was a little boy wearing a dress?
Not a dress. I didn't see the lower half. It just like a white shirt, I guess you would say.
Okay.
And I'm like, oh shit, I can't believe I saw this, So me being the good dude I am, I was like, hey, listen, you could stay here or whatever you want. If this is your room or one time, I'm cool with you.
You talked to it.
I did. I don't know what to do. Like I don't know what I was like what to do. Like and it was like it was like a little boy. So I'm not afraid of no like 10 or 12-year-old boy or
right.
Ghost or anything
right,
like.
Yeah, of course not.
Hey, it takes more than that.
So
to
what
get
if it
me
was
shook.
like an adult ghost? Then you might be scared.
Wait a second. You hit it right on the button here.
So this doesn't sound like a shadow person. This sounds more like a ghost.
This was like yes, and I see both. I guess you would say,
yeah, okay.
But this one was the most like detailed.
Did he say anything back to you?
No. But listen, this is where this is one I had guns pulled at me straight in my face. This was way more scarier than this. I kid you not. I'm going to get to that scary part. But when I said, hey, you could kick it with me or whatever, I kid you not, my bed started lightly, feel like somebody was lightly doing chest compressions. Like the bed was like someone was jumping on it lightly. I kid you, I could feel it. It was going, it wasn't heavy. I was like, this son of a bitch is in bed and jumping on the bed, bro. And then I'm sort of freaking out. So I'm like, I go downstairs because sometimes the second floor people would have parties and stuff and get buck wild. Come to find out, they weren't even in town. They went to Providence, Rhode Island for the weekend. So I'm tripping. I'm like, oh shit, what did I do here? I'm like, should I really have said what I said? Just you could kick it here.
Now they ain't leaving.
Oh no, this is where the scary shit comes up, and this is not that Thai boy shit because I know you're gonna be saying Thai boy shit because
here we go.
Now listen, I remember you can't forget this stuff, So I'm laying on my left side. I'm a side sleeper. I'm laying on my left side. I kid you not, right over the back of my right ear, I woke up to hearing this heavy grunt breathing. I'm like, I didn't know what to do. I was scared shitless. I was like, either I'm about to get murked by some serial killer, something's behind my ear grunting like a deep grunt.
Okay.
I didn't know what it was. Stone, I was scared. I was nervous. I didn't know what to do. I started praying to the higher power, the greater good. I was
You didn't turn around? It's like...
hell no! I didn't know what... dude, I was scared. Dude, if you hear heavy grunt breathing right by your ear...
I'll be like, what is that?
I was sort of lightweight nervous to see what the hell it was. I didn't know if it was a dude with a knife or something or an axe. I don't...
I'd want to know.
Shit, let it be. But hey, I started praying, and then all of a sudden, this is the funny part. Excuse me. This is verbatim what I said. All of a sudden, someone flipped the switch. I sat up in my bed and found there was nothing there. I sat up on bed, and then this is exactly what I said. I was like, listen, I try to be nice to you and invite you in my room and try to be cool and cordial with you. I was like, this is how you're going to do me? I was like, you had your time. I pay rent now. Get the fuck out. I said that exact word, verbatim. All of a sudden, nothing. It was cleared. And I was like, wow, dude, that was like I couldn't explain it. I couldn't explain what just happened.
You had to let them know what's up.
I had to. Well, that's what the higher power, greater good, like put in me to say, and so I said that. So I go on talk to CBV, and I was like, listen, we were outside by the lower deck where they had a motion detector light, right? And I go to him. I was like, listen, CBV, is there a ghost in here? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, before I even describe...
How does he know?
Listen. Because he's like that hypersensor, right?
Okay.
So I was like, CBV, is there a ghost in here? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, before I don't want to influence your description of it, right? This is exactly what I said. I don't want to influence your description of it. Tell me what you have seen. I kid you not. He said a 10 or 12-year-old boy with dark hair with a white shirt. Mm-hmm. I was like, oh, shit, right? So I'm wowing out, waving my hands like just, And guess what? That motion detector light went on, and then it snapped off. And I'm moving. This thing is not, this light is not going on. CBV goes, you feel that? Both our hairs are just standing static electricity up. We gave him the name Little G. All right?
Little G?
Yeah, Little Guardian. But listen, so when I would go down and paint in the storage unit and down there in the basement, I saw the other one. And there's two of them in there. There was one that was like this shadow person. I would only see like this arms or half like his torso, I always would see the legs though, majority of the time. And I would, you get that sixth sense of someone looking at you. Then all of a sudden I just see like half the legs just go up the stairs or the torso body of the shirt, And I'd be like, were you guys spying on me? Is the cat out? Miles the cat, thinking it was the cat with seeing the legs, And they're like, dude, get out of here. Like the cat's right here. And trying to make sense of this whole, what I'm seeing. And I was like, I'd be damned, there's two of them in there. So I think when I invited the young one, the other one came in and was like doing that mad grunting behind my ear. Like I was scared all get out.
Maybe he liked you.
What's that? What is there not to like? I mean, shit. I'm gonna be real with you. What is there not to like?
Maybe that was his way of trying to.
Hey,
yeah, but it just, just didn't work.
I guess. I mean, doing work. I mean, he woo. You're right behind me and shit, grunting like that.
You got the guy grunting behind you. You got a little boy in your bed. I mean, I'm really starting to worry. I didn't really think about it that way. But shit, you're the one with the perv head. Hey,
shit.
I'm just going off what you're telling me.
It is. You are. But no, for real. That bed was lightly pulsing. I was like, what in the world? This is shit's crazy. I couldn't explain it.
Might have been a slight earthquake in the area at the time or something like that. You never know.
Not like that consistent. It was consistently doom, doom, doom. Lightweight, someone's jumping on it. I couldn't explain it. But once CBV confirmed, I was just like, whoa. This is crazy. This is way too coincidental. How the hell did... I didn't even influence his answer.
So, since you were boys with him and everything, do you think hypersensitive people are attracted to each other then too? Because that seems kind of a small chance that you guys would meet up like that and be two hypersensitive people and being able to see ghosts and stuff like that. So I would guess. You think I'm a
hypersensitive person?
You said that.
No, I didn't say it. I might be. I don't know.
Well, if you're seeing ghosts, I would imagine you are. That's what it means. You're able to, spirits attract you and stuff like that. It could be
because when my family pushed me down that motel
steps. I'm not saying you're a
sissy,
sensitive. I don't mean it like that.
Well,
but I would say most people probably can't see ghosts. That's just what I guess. I'd say most people probably can't. And for you,
Quanu, gotta open your mind. I don't know. I really don't explain. Like, everybody has their own secret, like, or not secret, but only, like, everybody's built differently,
I could be wrong on that. I mean, a lot of people might be saying, like, they've seen ghosts. I could be wrong on that.
Now, listen, like, this is a crazy thing. So, you know how they say little kids are not, like, babies are not influenced by stuff, and little kids see mostly things because their brain is not, like, programmed,
right?
You know, yet. So, they are not constrained by, you know, what we're taught, right? They have an open mind. So you see kids like be like, oh, I see that person, you know. You see tons and tons of videos. And I actually put up my homie's Buffalo Bill, and he's a good Buffalo Bill, not the one who puts the lotion on the skin. He's a good Buffalo Bill. He's not the one who puts the lotion on the skin.
Put the lotion in the basket.
Yeah. Put the lotion. No, sorry. But he's a good dude. But his sister, I think, is in the Carolinas, and those southern states. There's a lot of history, especially in Georgia. It's one of the like Savannah, Georgia is one of the most haunted places on the planet. But I will, we'll put up the screenshot what he sent me. His sister was looking at houses, right? And we're gonna play Where's Waldo on this. But you will see on the left side, you'll see a shadow person. They took a picture because they're taking pictures of the house, showing the house to Buffalo. Because he has a remodeling and construction background also. And they're like, sending him pictures of what they can and can't do or what they should do or, just checking it out. Right? I'm not going to tell you where it's at because I want to make it fun for y'all to look for it. It's clear as day, though. There's just a shadow person who wanted to take a picture, and it is like, boom, there you go. Like, it's proof in the pudding. There's,
yeah.
He doesn't do that CGI. No.
I'm not saying that.
Yeah, but
couldn't just be maybe someone's shadow who was like,
hell no.
I'm just asking.
There's no way, and I'll get out. When you see the picture, when we post it and put it on, there's no possible way. There's nobody there. And plus there's a door there with all the light coming from back. It looks like someone, like just a shadow person just standing there. It's a woman, by the way.
Oh, how do you know that?
She's wearing a dress.
So you could see
the person perfectly.
It sounds more like a ghost than a shadow person. When I imagine shadow person, I just imagine like darkness.
Well, it's like I wouldn't say like dark. It's like a gray. Like, I mean, I don't know.
It sounds more like ghost than shadow people.
You can make your determine whatever you want to say. Like you could, tomato. It is what it is. But it clearly there was no one in the house. They're just taking pictures. I mean, clearly there was some entity in the house. Like, I looked at it, I was like, I be damn. I was like, you done caught something.
Maybe it was just someone and there was dark lighting. You never know. Someone might have been in there or something.
Like I said, you could make the judgment yourself when you see the picture. Yeah. I'll show you the picture later on, but like you'll see it on the when they do all the editing and all that good stuff and put it on there. But when it's funny you said that because we're going to bring this up too. So with that being said, that whole thing in Boston, like I keep on telling people, you don't know what blood has been shed on or what happened to these people before us. You don't know. Like, we have no clue. And then people be messing with Ouija boards, like you said, like going to see a psychic. Like they said, tarot cards are lightweight. Like you're opening things.
Yeah, I don't do any of that stuff.
Me either, because the ladies.
Well, obviously you do. You went to one.
Well, yeah, that's before I knew all the stuff that I know now.
Okay.
Honestly, I would never do it. Like, even though the lady suggested me or said that, hey, if you did do this ghost hunting thing, you make a good living because they want to speak to you.
It sounds like she was trying to tell you something.
Yeah, but I'm not bringing that juju by my baby girl, like my daughter. Okay. Like if I was didn't have my daughter, then I'm good. But she's pure light. Like, I mean, she is a spark of sunshine. She is like, she makes me proud. Like,
Okay, I
she's
got
such
you.
a good soul. Like, I know that the divine light would never let anything happen to her or bad happen to her, just because she is, she's something special. She's a good kid. But I didn't want to like subject that to her, you know, because you hear about these entities being attached to you,
Yeah.
and causing havoc, especially with poltergeist, you know, and that stuff, moving stuff. And I never had, I don't think I had anything like that happen, moving stuff. I think they did I think they did plan doing some stuff to me, because this is going to go and loop on to the next part. So Shaw remembers this, our homeboy Shaw. He actually brought this up when I meant to see him. I saw him like about a month or two ago, and he remembers it. He brought it up to me, and I was like, oh man, I got to put that on the podcast. So this one time, you remember the homeboys down who lived down the street from us in College Street, Lawrence and Jefferson and all them. So they moved out to this place. This is the weirdest house ever. I don't know what possessed this dude to build this house like the way he did. I mean, it was some like 80s weird, I don't know what this guy was on, but all these curved like countertops, and they were textured like lava rock. I was like, why in the world would you make this a countertop textured like this? Like, you ain't gonna be able to clean it. You know, it's like all like cratered, like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if you ever been to that house where they rented out there, but it was strange. So Jefferson and Jefferson's brother, they had some bad dogs. I don't know if you remember them, but they had like some rots and some pits, and they were, you know, they also were trained to, you know, if they need to put work in, they'll put work in. So I go in this house, I'm like, man, this place is strange, you know? And they're like, yeah, you know what's really strange about this, Michael? And I was like, what's that? Because they knew about like this whole, like, I you know, disclose about like seeing shit, you know, and ghosts and stuff. They're like, man, the weirdest thing is, as badass as dogs as these are, they will not go in the basement. They will not go in the basement. I mean, they will like get.
Some dogs don't like going up and down stairs.
Yeah, but these dogs weren't like that. They just something down. They would growl. They would growl in the basement, and their hair would go up like they were like protecting their homeowners, right? Mm-hmm. They were like, they will just like that, like just get like on point, and they don't know what they couldn't explain it, right? Even if the owners of their dogs were down in the basement, they still were like hesitant, you know? Well, I captured maybe what was going on there. So right there where they lived was a major river. I don't know if it's part of Cuyahoga River, you know, areas where the rivers are there, but it's right by what is it? Monroe Falls and Stowe, and they got a river there. And like I'm like, you know, like I said, we don't know what happened on the soil, but there's a lot of Native American stuff that's been up here in Ohio, right? Good read, everybody, is Ohio's First People. Man, that's a good read. It's 200 pages. I read it in college, man. That shit is a tearjerker how people treated them, Native Americans or American Indians. I mean, whoo-wee. I mean, it was bad. And learning what, you know, they did, and they just got done dirty. So I wouldn't put it past that they put some, you know, bad juju on the land for the settlers, the colonialists. But we were there sitting at a fire, and I'm looking, and I look at the log there, and it looked like an alligator skull, right? And that's when I was going to art school, right? And this is right when they came out with phones with the camera, and I was like, man, that looks sort of like an alligator skull, right? So I snapped 3 photos. I snapped 3 photos just to make sure I captured what I wanted. Then I look at the photos, and I'm like, scrolling in. I'm like, whoa, this is some wild shit right now. And I will finish the drawings. I drew one picture of what I'm going to explain to you that I saw in the first picture.
You still have the pictures?
Huh?
You still have the pictures?
I'm going to get to that. No, I don't. That phone, that phone dematerialized. Mm-hmm. I'm telling you, this story is crazy. This phone dematerialized. Like, it grew legs and ran. Like, my old man and I, because I was living with my old man when I was going to school in college at the time. I mean, we got in a heated argument. Like, it almost went to fisticuffs. I was like, what'd you do with my phone? Like, he was like, I don't mess with your phone. Like, it disappeared, bro. But anyways, I know, you're skeptical, whatever. But Shaw seen it. He's the one who brought it up and brought it to my, like, back into my brain. Like, I was like, oh, yeah, I got to put that on. He remembers it. And I'll tell you what, if old man Mike was still alive, he'd tell you the truth, too. And he will come into this story too, because it'll lead up to it. So I kid you not, on the first picture, it was a lady with a shaved head, with her mouth open, with a long serpent tongue. And I mean, it wasn't like, oh, that could be it. No, it was like someone drew her in there in the flames. It was like perfect. This is like before, like, CGI and all that stuff, you know, you could do stuff with the phone cameras just came out recently. I was like, we looked at them and I showed everybody, you know, long serpent tongue sticking out, like screaming, girl with a bald head. Next picture, same exact spot of that fire, it changed. It was like a gorilla alien Skeletor skull. Like, at the same exact spot where that girl with the serpent tongue was. Like, it morphed. Like, it just changed. I couldn't explain it. I showed everybody this. They're like, whoa, dude, you got to, like, you know, print these out, you know, and show people this, show the world.
Yeah.
Well, this is what happened. Oh, man, Mike. Man, rest in power. I love that dude. And Special K. But we were working and we were moving this big ass gazebo for these people, right? And we were using earth movers. They're just round pieces of wood with a 2-ton car jack and an 8-foot board, a 2x8 by 8 foot board, right? And we would use the board as a caddy lever, so we couldn't, you know, pry it up to get the car jack, so we can get the earth movers and move it in front with the winch. So we're just like constantly going back and forth, right? Moving the earth movers, wenching it, moving it, car jack it, you know. But what happened was we kept on getting it pinched, so we had to use the 2x8 by 8 foot board, right, as a caddy lever to get that car jack under there, right. So it was at the end of the day, and at lunchtime, I showed old Mike the pictures, and I was like, you know, I'm gonna print these out, right. And he looked at me, he was like, and you know, old man Mike was not like, he was old school, like, no bullshit. Like, he wasn't really scared of nothing. He was, you know, he was rough around the edges, but in a good way, you know what I mean? He was a tough dude. And he looked at me, he's like, Michael, he's like, I don't even know what you captured, but, like, this is some crazy shit. I was like, I know. I was like, I'm going to print this out and show the world. I just missed my lip there. But anyways, guess what happens next? We're at the end of the day. This gazebo weighs over 2,000 pounds. It's a full-fledged, like, windows, I mean, it was a nice gazebo. It was, like, decked out. And we're at the end of the day. We're almost at the spot. And what we did was we kept on forgetting to get the board out after we took the car jack out, you know? And we would pinch the board under there that we were using as a caddy lever to get the teeter to get the car jack under there. So we kept on, we were mentally getting tired at the end of the day. So we kept on getting that board pinched, and I was like, darn it. We had to go and pop out and get the car jack, and he pulled it. I was like, oh, you know? So I was like, oh. When he was about to get the car jack, we both had our backs turned to each other, right? So the gazebo's up there, and the caddy lever's down here. I go and grab the board, or go to grab the board to prohibit from getting pinched underneath the gazebo again. What happens? Whoa, boom! That board, when I went to grab it, that 2x8 foot board with all the weight of that gazebo straight nailed me right in the skull, bro. I kid you not. It was like a damn silverback gorilla smacked me. It didn't knock me out. It knocked me back. And I had my eyes closed naturally because, you know, you get hit, you flinch. And the first thing I did was feel my face for blood. And I didn't feel any, like, liquid or anything. And then I opened my eye and I, like, checked my teeth and see if my teeth and my jaw worked. Because, I mean, it straight got me. And I checked my teeth. They're good. And I go and look at old man Mike, and he's looking at me like he saw a ghost. He's just staring at me wide-eyed and like, oh my gosh, dude, I can't believe this happened. Like, are you okay? Are you okay? And I'm like, yeah. And then he grabbed my face to see, you know, like he was a very caring individual. And he's like, are you all right? And I'm like, yeah, damn, don't touch my face. Like I said, I was like, it felt like I just got smacked by a silverback, bro. That shit hurts. Like my jaw was jacked up for about at least 2 months. Like Doritos, anything chewy was out of question. That shit hurt. But I then thought, I was like, I think I know why that happened. Because they heard that I was going to leak out that what the real was, that they made me take a hit like that.
Okay.
That's what I think.
Okay.
That's our person. They're like, don't you do it.
Yeah.
Then I thought about how severe that could have been if I would have caught the board, the edge of the board, or if that board would have just caught my jaw. That shit would have just taken. It would have been right. It would have taken right off.
So, what happened to the phone?
That's a good question. I don't know. Literally, I was at home, you know, and I had the phone, and it just like I said, it just it grew legs, like it just disappeared. I'm telling you, Stone, my old man and I got in such a heated argument that like literally it almost.
You lost the phone that night?
Huh?
You lost the phone that night?
I don't know if it was that night. I can't remember, because I mean that was like, you know, I can't remember the exact. It's just like gone. Like I had it in the house somewhere, but that's why I knew I had it in the house, but
it wasn't like the phone you normally use.
It was. I don't know what happened to it. Like it just like disappeared.
Okay.
Like I had to get a new phone and everything. I was like, I don't know what happened to it. It just disappeared. That's why I was so convinced that my old man took it, or like, I was thinking, I was just not really thinking. I was like, why would he take my phone, you know? But that's how real it got. Like we got into such a heated argument that I actually moved in with Klob, you know, because it got that heated. And I was like, I couldn't explain it. I could not explain it. Like it disappeared. Now, it gone. And I don't know how to like tell you or explain to you. Like it was there in that room, but then it was just gone. That's why I was like, I asked, like the only way it could get taken is like the old man or somebody took it out of my room, right? There's no other way to explain what happened. It almost like I said, dematerialized, like it disappeared. I could not find it to this day, but I know the picture. I know it's ingrained in my brain. The two faces that I seen: the girl with the long serpent tongue with her mouth open, and the gorilla Skeletor skull.
And Sean, your dad, or any other people that saw these pictures?
There's a few other people. I don't know if they remember. You know, I'm sure like people like Lawrence, Nick Lawrence, and Jefferson and them, because they lived in the house. And once I saw them pictures, I was like disclosed. I was like, this is why your dogs are probably acting weird. You know, like it has to be. There's no other explanation why these dogs. Because they're normally really chill dogs, you know. But like I said, when they would go by the basement, or sometimes they like, if they were down in the basement, everybody's in the basement, they would be okay. But then all of a sudden, just be like, flip the switch, and they'd just be back of their hair all raised up, growling, like just going at, but ready to go, you know, basically.
Mm-hmm. But too scared to go.
Huh?
But too scared to go.
Yeah. Would
know what
you
you
go?
said. Like,
Huh?
probably not.
Would you go?
Probably not.
No, you don't know what you're seeing, and especially if you saw.
Actually,
like,
I don't know.
If you saw, you're probably like thinking, "Oh yeah, that girl with the long serpent tongue. I bet she could do some things."
No, but I'd like to. If there's something down there, like a ghost or something, I want to see it. I'd be like, "Oh shit, there's a ghost."
But they're different dimensional. You know, I don't. It's weird. Like that's why I don't know how I explain how I see it. Like you said, why do some people see them and some people don't?
Right.
I can't explain that. I don't know why. It could be because, you know, when you get a head injury, you know, they say, or you get like shocked, like Nikola Tesla when he got shot, I don't know, with one of his Tesla coils, he got zapped real hard and his apprentice turned it off. But when he was getting like lit up, he was in almost like a time warp, like he saw the future, the past, and everything, and that's where the numbers are 369. If you look up Nikola Tesla, and you think I'm just bullshitting, making this up, you will see 369 or 963, and all those numbers are very, very important if you go through, you know, numeric things, because the one common language of the universe is numerical.
I guess, yeah.
It is. It is. It's not, I guess it is.
Well, I mean,
you could break down phonetic, like alphabet. You have all different letters, different kind of like cuneiform.
You don't know what's
Hebrew.
out in the universe, though. You don't know what's out there.
No, but I'll tell you what.
There could be certain areas where numbers don't even apply.
But numbers have to apply.
You don't know what's out there.
Numbers is the common language of everything, though.
Can't say that because you don't know what's out there.
You sort of know what's out there, like, but I don't know. Like numbers are like, if you look at like, what is it? Like a sacred flower and all the geometric shapes, the Pythagoras theorem and all that. That like numbers can a Fibonacci sequence. And all that stuff is related. Like, if you even man, it's hard for me to explain because, I mean, we need to get Robert Grant on here. That dude is just straight genius with his mathematics. And Terrence Howard. I mean, that dude is just...
But if the universe is supposedly this infinite space, it's possible that numbers don't apply to a certain part of that.
But you have to have some sort of, like, set standard.
Could be something else.
I don't know, but like the pi, like is repetitive. Like pi, like it just keeps on going, which is what is like the universe. It's an infinite.
What does that mean?
That's what I'm saying. That it has to correlate with something. It has to have some sort of language, I guess you would say, to break it down. Like
possibly.
I mean, you got to have something to justify how it's working. You know, just like the matrix, like binary code. When you look at computers, it's all binary code. You know, ones and zeros, blah 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 blah. Mm-hmm. Okay, those are what numbers?
Yeah, for here.
Oh, I see what you're saying, but like yeah, you could. I mean, yes and no. I mean,
like, what if there was like this just blank space in the universe where there was just nothing? How would numbers apply to that?
Would it be zero?
That's a good answer.
You know, like,
that's a good answer. It's just zero.
Like, so, like the whole thing.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying?
It's just zero.
It's just zero.
Okay.
You know, like that'd be like the explanation. Like, you know, Terrence Howard goes into it as like, you know, when they say like.
So if there was like a space in the universe where there was just like this jelly blob thing, that would just be one or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh.
It would just be one unless it's combined with another.
But see, what you're doing, though, is you're just counting that as one because you're from here. Like, another, like, let's say hypothetically there was another civilization out there. They
there is a different civilization.
They may not
out there.
see it as one or anything like that. They might live by a completely different standard.
True. I mean, yes, that's possible because we haven't ventured off into like communicating with them. You know,
If they're out there.
they are out there. Come on now, the universe is so vast. I mean, just in our galaxy, there's galaxy. I mean, come on now.
Hey,
Nah.
you seen a picture? You
What?
seen one before? You met one?
Seen what?
An alien.
I'm looking at one.
Nah,
Shit,
you're
with that kind of comment, I'm looking at one. You possibly could
Now, if
be.
I was an alien, I'd be saying things just like
Just like
this.
what you're
Yeah.
saying, right?
Yeah,
You're trying to flip the script and trying to hide it. So now, exactly.
I mean, I've never met one. I never seen one.
How do you know you never met one? Oh, wait a
That's a
second.
good
Wait a
point.
second.
That's a good point. That's
Wait
a good
second.
point.
You saw some shit
I don't know.
down in Penn.
I don't know what I saw.
Yeah, you know what? You saw some
I don't know
wall
what I saw.
crawlers.
I don't
You
know.
saw some wall crawlers.
That doesn't mean they were alien. They could have been from this planet.
True. They could be an ancient civilization.
Yeah.
Like, you
I don't know what
you
I
ever
saw.
heard?
I don't
Well,
know
they
what I
said
saw.
the ant people, right? Oh man, I can't remember. It starts with a D. Shame on me for not knowing. But in Turkey, they have these underground. It goes down like 30,000 feet, and it literally looks like ant. They said there was, like I said, there's ant aliens of some sort, and that they taught. I don't know, but they have a cave system underground that they had. It goes 30,000. They had livestock in there. They had people who lived down there. I mean, it looks like a enlarged, basically, ant colony. I mean, I forget. We'll put it up on the slide. I can't remember. It starts with the D. Shame on me for not knowing, but like it. I think it's called. I don't even want to try to say it and then get it wrong, and then people be like, you got it wrong. But they're all over the place, you know. There's one in China that they just disclosed just recently. This underground cavern system, like, gorgeous. Like, I mean, it's like crazy. I mean, just the architectural, like, how they put air vents for fresh air. They had like thousands of air vents to get clean air and outtake intake. I mean, just the thought process to build these was just amazing. Just like the pyramids, Machu Picchu, like all these different, you know, ancient monolithic things that they built with these huge stones. They don't even know that, didn't have tool, you know.
I was watching something the other day, and they were building pyramids, just people, and they were carrying the huge blocks by themselves. But I think it was because for some reason there wasn't as much gravity. So they were able to, like the pyramids, they were able to carry like those huge blocks like by themselves because there wasn't as much gravity, and they were able to move them and stuff. So I don't know how that would possibly happen, but
now did that not, I don't really. Okay, there's a guy, I forget his name. We'll go back to him in Florida, and there's an individual, I forget his name. It's called the Coral Castle. You ever heard of it? So this individual, they have pictures of him. Not him. He would always do it at night. Okay. He also said he got input from another place to do this, how to construct this. It is like crazy. Like, I mean, you can move this huge multi-ton coral, a petrified coral, and just move it with like a hand. And I mean, it's huge, like a door. And they had this tripod with these speakers. So, like I said, everything in this universe has a vibration or frequency. Everything's built by atoms and, you know, right? So when you know that certain element or certain object's frequency or vibration, you can literally do what you please with it. So, right, Billy Carson showed in the pyramids of Giza, there's these little slots, and rose quartz and quartz in general, it's very powerful with conducting vibrations, you know. And you had these little slots. They think that they were able to move those huge stones. I mean, like 60,000 tons, right? By knowing the stone quartz or rose quartz frequency to move it easily. There's no way to move it with logs. There's no way. That's just silly because you can't do that.
Logs?
You know how like I said with the earth movers I was telling you about how we moved the gazebo, like just using one after another and just rolling it.
Oh.
The sheer weight would just obliterate that
I didn't
wood.
think they had logs like that in the desert.
Well, at one time there was like with the Nile and they had different I would say like waterways. They constructed little waterways. It was more lush then than it was now, is now. And you got to think, back then, you had there was the ice age. So all that ice was melting. So all that water there's more of it, right? And then, or less of it. And so they had to create these canals. But then I don't know what happened. Who knows? We didn't live at that time. For all we know, like, we've been told there was a Pangea, and then I see, certain things in old school maps showing different kind of like almost land bridges that connected all the continents together at one time. Not like your normal, like, as you think, the Pangea, you're right? So we don't know what's on the bottom of the ocean, we haven't even scratched the surface on that. So there could be really ancient stuff that's underneath that water that we have no clue about that could open up new doors of how these civilizations lived, and how they constructed and how they went about. So what I'm saying is, like, there's more to it in this world that people actually perceive. They need to, like, I'm not saying you could do, if you're cool with knowing what you want to know or you want to educate yourself, go ahead. If you're content where you at and you don't want to know, that's fine. But there's more to this planet than people are what they're taught, I should say. That's why they don't want people to know about vibrations and ancient civilizations, because they want to keep everybody underneath their thumb. Because if people actually knew that you can control what you want by manifesting in your vibration, what I always say, be positive. Every time I like put out a thing, I always say be positive. That's I always say, like in our group chat with our homies, right? Because that's the laws of attraction. Just like I just said, like with Anthony Holland, if you guys look at about Anthony Holland and his, he actually picked up off Raymond Rife about vibrations and frequencies, and if you take a look at that, it will literally open up your mind to see things as in a different light, and different perspective. And why do you think they always say divine light? That's the highest frequency. That's what I believe. That's like the dawn.
Okay.
I don't know what you believe, but that's why I feel that's why they call the divine light, because it is the highest frequency that you can be or try to establish. You hear in all these scriptures of, the divine is so bright that you can't even imagine how bright it is. You can't even absorb the light. You can't even look at it because it's so bright. And
not literally though, right?
We'll get into that in a different segment, because there's people who actually been pronounced dead and came back to life, and they talked about that light. That's why you always hear about people when they're like, go to the light, after you pass. We'll get into that like in a different paranormal story when I was working in Cleveland Heights, and that was a trip. But that was a whole different ball of wax. That was another scary moment of my life, because you don't know what it is, but until you get your vibration good, and then you're good, But when you live in fear, your mind starts racing, you start making things up. But anyways, on that note, do you have anything else, any questions about this?
No, I think you
summed it all up again.
Yeah.
definitely people, just treat people like you want to be treated. Like I said in the beginning of the, this episode, just think before you act. Just, like, put yourself in their shoes, for just a minute. And once you get in that concept and that mindset, it'll make it a lot easier to live with one another. Like, quit being competitive. We're all in this together. We're all a spark of God.
What's wrong with being competitive?
Well, I'm not saying competitive, but always like trying to. I wouldn't say competitive, but like I would say check the differences at the door. We're all, you know what I mean. We don't. Yeah, just because you're a different skin color than me, don't mean nothing, right? I mean, it means something.
It does.
It does.
My skin looks better than yours.
It does.
But
I mean, you got good skin.
Just kidding.
You got good skin. I gotta say, you do got good skin. I mean, that's true. It's just all like what you're like the melanin. Like, it don't matter. We're all made out of the same things.
I agree.
We're all made out of the same thing. So, like, think of yourself as that person and vice versa. Like, you don't have to be calling people out because of this or that. Just be real with you. Like, we're all the same. And the reason why they want us to be is different is to control. Because what is the to divide is to conquer.
Yep.
To divide, that's what they're trying to do. Now, if we come together and we can make a golden age, but until we get that in our heads,
Kumbaya.
yes, sir. Amen on that. I shouldn't say amen because that's going to Murdoch. I'm Ron, and he was a murderous dude. We'll talk about that in a different.
It's still a very nice dream. I wish I could get to that point. It's a very nice dream.
Hey, all I gotta say is you do good, be good, get good, and everybody love to love.
Random. That was random.